everyone, welcome to the second video of Polynesian Languages, which again are Hawaiian, Samoan, Tahitian, and Maori. And as we usually do with the second video, what we're going to do in this video is start by going through the vowel rules of these four languages. We'll cover vowel sounds relating to A, E, and I, and we'll finish up the rest in the other videos. And one thing to remember that I said or mentioned before is that these four languages are very heavy, like vowel. They have lots of vowel. They're vowel heavy. Most words are, very concentrated with vowels. So it's really important that the vowel rules are learned for these languages. But a good thing is that the vowel rules are very simple actually, and there are quite a bit of rules dictating which spelling should be used when. So we'll look at those as we go here. So let's start first off with A. Okay, so we're going to do all the vowels relating to A, and as always, our first one is our A with two dots. Okay, A with two dots, and by now you should know that this is pronounced ah, ah. And luckily for us, in the Polynesian languages, there is only one way to spell it, and it's just the letter A. This sound is so common in these four languages, but the spelling is very simple. So it's just spelled with an A. Okay, and there's some examples for this. First one is tonico, tonico, which is T-A-N-I-K-O. You have it right here, tonico, and it's basically a border of a mat. It's like a decorative, border of a mat. That's what tonico means. A second word is huakapapa. It's a very fun word to say, huakapapa. W-H-A-K-A-P-A-P-A. It's also pronounced whakapapa, so it's wakapapa or whakapapa. And we have it wa-ka pa, pa. We have it four times here. So this is a great example of this rule. Because, it's very repetitive. You can see the ah sound, but in every instance, it's going to be spelled with an A. So it's very simple. Okay? So that is our A with two dots. Okay, let's see. And now we're going to go on to our long A sound, which again is another very predictable spelling, a very easy one too. It's always going to be spelled with the letter E, the A sound. So our long A sound is pronounced A, and it's going to be spelled with an E. There is only one exception to this rule, and there's only one word. So let's look at that. One exception, and the word for that, it's pronounced heiau. It's H-E-I-A-U, and here an E-I is used for the A sound, so this is the only exception word. Everything else is going to spell A with an E, so the sound A is going to be spelled with an E. Heiau is a pre-Christian Hawaiian temple, so just remember that's the only exception. But the other words have E for the A sound, such as kikepa, which is K-I-K-E-P-A. Okay, and kikepa is basically a garment for women. And then we have nene, which is a type of goose. So we have two here. So again, beginning, middle, end, always, the A sound is going to be spelled with an E, except for heiau because that uses EI. Okay, so that covers long A. So we've done long A. One thing to notice or mention is that the short A sound, which is just pronounced ah, is not even common in these four languages. Like, you probably won't even run into it. If you do spell it with an A, that's the only way you can spell it, but the sound isn't even common. It's really rare, and I've never actually seen it. So just in case you run into the ah sound, spell it with an A, but it's actually not even there, so nothing to worry about. So that covers A actually, and now we can do E. All the sounds relating to E. Okay, so the first one we're going to look at is our long E sound. Okay, and this one is where it gets a little bit complicated, not too complicated, but our long E sound is basically pronounced E. Okay, so it's the E saying its own name, it's pronounced E, and let's look at this separately. We're going to look at this by parts of the word. If it's at the beginning or the middle, this sound, if it occurs at the beginning of the word or the middle, then we're going to spell it with an I. okay, with an I. And that's very common. The I is actually the most common way to spell it. However, if the sound occurs at the end of the word, it ends in the sound E, there are two ways to spell it. You can spell it with an I, or you can spell it with the letter E. Okay, so if it ends the word, it's going to be either I or E. If it's in the middle or the beginning, it's going to be an I. So let's look at some examples. I actually noticed a pattern with these words. First of all, beginning or middle has I. There are many examples. One example is iiwi, I-I-W-I, iiwi. So you have it so much. Here it does end in an I, so it uses this rule. But for the beginning part, at least, it's I. And it means a honey creeper, which is a kind of bird. Okay, so that's iiwi. Another one is kahili, Kahili. Here we have another one ending with the letter I for the E sound. But in the middle we also have the E. Kahili is a decorated pole, like used in ceremonies. Okay, so those are two examples of where the E sound in the beginning or middle is I. Now let's go to the ones at the end of the word. Examples with E. Okay, examples with E. I'll just change colors here to make it clear. Examples with E. One is kohe, K-O-H-E, K-O-H-E, kohe, and this is basically a kind of tree. Next one is salele, S-A-L-E-L-E, salele. Then kiore, K-I-O-R-E, and then a holy, A-H-O-L-E-H-O-L-E. This is a very fun word. So these are like just four examples of words that end in the letter E for the E sound. Okay, and examples that end with I, let's put them on this side. One example is tangi, T-A-N-G-I, see, ends in I, and also tiki, T-I-K-I. Tangi is basically a funeral rite, and tiki is a wood or stone image. So those are two words ending in I for the E sound. One thing I did notice is that the words, if you're ever stuck, the way to distinguish it is usually the ones that end in an E are like scientific words, or they're related to certain genuses. So if it has a genus in it, then you should be safe with an E. Because I was looking at the definitions of the four of these. Kohe, like I said, is a kind of tree. It's a genus of a tree. Salele is a kind of fish, a porcoid fish. Kiore is a rat, and a holy is a fish again. So all these are genus scientific type words. Whereas like if you see tangi, it's like a funeral rite, and tiki here it's like a wood stone image, not really scientific or genus related. So that's a little distinction I made that might come in handy. So if it is a scientific word, an animal, a plant, a mineral, then I think ending with an E would be a better choice. But if it's like an art type or rite, like funeral rite, something not relating to science, then it would end in an I probably. So that's one way to distinguish. If it's in the beginning or the middle, you're safe with an I. If it's in the end, then use this rule and it'll work most of the time. Okay, so not too bad. So that's our long E sound, and that actually concludes E for us because the short E sound, which is again, just like the A sound, is not common at all. And if you do run into it, just spell it with the letter E. That's the only way to spell it. So again, that's not common. So the only thing we have to care about with E is the long E sound, which we took care of. So now let's go to our final vowel of this video, which is I. Alright, I. Okay, now the first thing we're going to look at with I, actually we are going to look at only one sound with I again. Just before, let me just mention that the short I sound, which is just again, is not common like the A or the S sound. So the short A sound, the short E sound, and the short I sound, all three of these are very rare, they're not common, they might not even show up in these four languages. So just in case you do run into it, spell it with the letter that it uses. So spell A with an A, spell with an E, and spell with an I. But you're probably not even going to run into it, so we don't have to bother. So the only sound we're going to look at with I is our long I sound, which is I with the line over it. It's pronounced I. And this is actually quite a wonderful thing because there are two ways to spell it. Um, AI is one of them, and it's the more common one. And the other spelling is AE. AE. Now, thankfully for us, in the entire dictionary, there are only think let's see, 3 or 4 words that have AE for the I sound. So it's best for us to just memorize those. Um, Actually, there are only 3 words that have it, and 2 words are not even like they have that spelling, but the sound is not I. So we're gonna go through all 5 of these words, and so if you learn those, everything else is gonna be spelled with an AI. So let's start by looking at those 5 words. First one that use AE for the I sound is Marae, Marae, and they occur at the end of the word. Actually, that's one other thing to look at. Marae is a temple. Lots of temple words. The next one is Pai Pai, Pae, Pae. We have it twice here. Okay, so Pai Pai is a stone platform, and then the last one that actually uses it is Ulai, Ulae. Okay, so that's an AE. Like I said, there are 2 other words that have the spelling AE, but the sound is not high. But I can go through those if you'd like. So let's see. Let's change the color here. Put them up top. One word is Koae, and this is pronounced Koae. It has the AE. It's not. It doesn't use the I sound. I'm just mentioning these because these were the only 2 left in the entire dictionary that has AE and is from a Polynesian language. So Koae is a kind of bird. And then the final word is Haere Mai. And this is pretty hard to pronounce. I'll try my best. I think it's pronounced Haere Mai. Haere Mai. And basically it's a Polynesian like expression for like welcome. It's like a greeting. So Haere Mai, we have the AE here, but it's not even pronounced I. So these are just those 2 other words that have AE and are from Polynesian languages, but the ones we are focused on are these 3. Marae, Pai Pai, and Ulai. So these are the only 3 words from Polynesian that have AE for the I sound. So if you learn these 3, everything else is going to be an AI. So anything else you run into is going to be an AI. So let's look at some examples with AI. One example is Aka Akai. Aka Akai, A-K-A-A-K-A-I. And we have it at the end, Aka Akai, and it's a bulrush, so it's a kind of plant. And so the rest of the words that have I from either Hawaiian or Samoan or Tahitian or Maori are going to spell it AI. These 3 are the only, let me write this again just to reiterate, these 3 are the only like exceptions you can think. These are the exceptions. So if you know these 3, everything else is going to be an AI. Very simple and easy. So this covers I. We've done AE and I so far, and hopefully you've noticed that they aren't too bad. They do follow certain rules and patterns, such as the scientific words versus the more artsy words, or these few exceptions. So in our next video, we'll continue with O, U, and the other vowel sounds, and also continue on with some of the consonant rules. So I hope to see you then. Bye!